Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome back. We are at the Apartment Association for another edition of the Weekly Member Spotlight. Before we get started, I wanted to make mention of two events coming up. The first one is our B&B Riverboat Cruise. That is July 12th. Seating is limited, but we do still have a couple of openings. So if you are interested in attending, please give us a call at the association and we will get you registered. And then very excited to announce that our Business Exchange event is coming up on August 13 at the Oasis Conference Center. This is a great event for both associate members and our primary members. Be on the lookout this week for an email and a save the date postcard that's coming out about the event. We'd love to get as many participants as possible, and if you talk to any association member, I think they would probably agree this is the best value that the association offers. It's kind of like a reverse trade show. So primary members have a chance to sit at the table and get greeted by and kind of like a little 4-minute commercial from our associate members. It's coming up again August 13th, and be on the lookout for that. Please get registered. All right, well, I am very, very excited today to sit down with Mr. Eric Scherzinger from Scherzinger Pest Control. Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
You are the only thing between me and a long weekend, so we're going to make the most of this interview.
Yes. All right.
All right, well, why don't you just take a moment and introduce yourself, tell everyone who you are, who you work for, and maybe how long you've been in the industry.
Yeah, so I'm Eric Scherzinger. I'm the Vice President of Procurement and Marketing with Scherzinger Termite and Pest Control. Obviously, it's a family company. My joke is I've been with the company for 35 years now because I'm 35. Full-time, it's been about 11 or 12 years now. I've held just about every position in the company. A little bit about the company, we're 4th generation, family owned. My brother just got promoted to president, which is very exciting. And we have 105 employees. We're the 63rd or 67th largest company in the country, and we're based here in Cincinnati and service Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus.
How old were you when you killed your first bug professionally?
Professionally, I started writing with some of the techs when I was in junior high school, actually. But I started out as a paper shredder.
Oh, really?
On the weekends, going into work with my dad, thinking it was a lot of fun, and I got paid by Happy Meals. So.
Oh, well, that's a good payment.
Absolutely.
How did you get into the business? How did you know that you were going to end up working for the family company?
Well, my brother and I both tried to do different things. I thought I was going to be a farmer, and I got hit with reality of how hard that is when you don't grow up on a farm.
Right.
So I came back to the family business and really saw the opportunity there and really fell in love with it. So.
Did you want to be a farmer of animals or a farmer of agriculture?
A little both.
Yeah.
I majored in agriculture economics, so it makes sense to grow and have animals. And we could get on to that, but we don't need to. So, yeah.
All right, one more industry question for you. What's your favorite kind of pest to treat, or maybe what do you do the most of for the business?
That's a good question.
Bed bugs, maybe?
It's not my favorite to treat.
Right.
Termites are my passion. I love termites. I did research on bed bugs. I like bed bugs a lot.
Right.
I'm sure nobody watching likes bed bugs. I don't
No.
know many people that do.
Not in our business.
Yeah, especially in property management. When I was in sales, when I would go out to properties, there was a little code word of BBs, at a lot of properties, because you don't want anybody to hear that.
We can't even
that
use the
dirty
initials
word
anymore.
Yeah, people figure it out. So the amount of knowledge I have of bed bugs with doing research on them when I was in college, and us being in part of the cutting edge of using heat to treat them so I've got a big passion about bed bugs.
Okay. Well, that's helpful to those of us who have the problem. How did you get involved with the Greater Cincinnati Northern Kentucky Apartment Association?
Yeah, our company's been a member for a long time. I couldn't even tell you how long. And as soon as we moved to Dayton and Columbus and opened up branches, we got involved with those organizations or those apartment associations. But as far as getting involved here was when I moved back here and became the sales manager. I started getting involved with the association maybe 5-8 years ago. I don't know how long ago it was now.
And what kind of involvement do you have with us?
Well, I'm on the associate council. I have been for a number of years. It's a great group, get a lot done. Also on the legislative committee, which also very passionate about legislative issues. As you can imagine, in the industry that I'm in, we're very heavily regulated, so very involved with that. And also, when it doesn't conflict with my son's schedule, I'm on the holiday cheers committee and try to help out with that. So.
Right. Well, great. What's one of your more memorable industry stories that you'd like to share?
Well, there's so many. I used to, a little known fact is I actually managed one of my dad's apartment buildings. He used to own quite a few units in the city or around town. He recently sold them all off, but right out of college, I was a resident manager, so it was free rent,
Right.
you know, of a building he owned in Laughlin with 31 bedroom units, and working full time, then coming back home, having some residents sitting there waiting for you.
Right.
To tell you personal problems was always interesting.
Right. I can relate. What advice would you offer up to the next generation of associate members getting involved with the association?
Yeah, I mean, it's real cliche, but you only get out of it what you put into it. You need to start from the ground up, get involved, go to the general meetings, and I can tell you, just getting to know other people and not stealing information, but learning from them and grabbing information from them is really going to benefit you.
Okay. Well, can we get into a little more personal questions?
I suppose.
All right, I'm going to be nice. You can calm down. All right, tell us a little bit about your family. You mentioned your son.
Yep, I'm a single parent. I have a 5-year-old son. That is just my world. We have so much fun together, and have a brother that's 2.5 years older that's in the business with me. He just had his 4th kid, which is awesome. And I have a younger sister actually too. I don't talk a lot about her because she's not in the business, so I feel bad. So definitely want to mention her. She's
right.
A shining star. She's the most patient person, being a special ed teacher, and works in the Lakota School District. So.
Okay. What do you like to do in your pastime?
My passion growing up was hockey. I played hockey for 13 years. I'm really burnt out on it, want nothing to do with it nowadays. But,
are you a scrapper? Like, did you get in a lot of hockey fights?
Yes. I did spend my fair time in the penalty box, yes.
Right.
And have plenty of scars and injuries to show for it, I guess. But now it's baseball. I love baseball. I coach my son's team. This is my 3rd year coaching his team. And we went to 14 Reds games last year.
Wow.
My son and I did. And this year we've already gone to 3. So looking to beat that 14. But that's symbolic, 14 in the Reds.
I
get it.
I get that now, actually.
Yeah.
What's one of the best books that you've read recently?
Yeah, there's so many. But like in the questions back in October, best book that's still the best book recently that I read is Be a Man by Father Larry Richards. It's becoming the man God wants you to be, and my men's group did a whole study on the book and whatnot. It's an amazing book.
Okay. You're very involved with your church, right?
I am. I'm on the Evangelical Catechesis Commission, and also involved with the festival that's coming up. Put a plug in for that, June 7th, 8th, and 9th. And at St. Maximilian Colby Church in Liberty Township. I'll be there all weekend as I'm a booth captain and working just about every shift. So make sure you stop by and see me.
So I forgot to mention this, and I apologize, but sat down and was a little nervous to sit down with you for some reason, Eric. But this is the Flashback Friday interview. You actually had a post back in October, and then you were in Disney World with your family, and didn't get to do the video. So we called you earlier and said, hey, if you want to do the video, let's get you scheduled, and that was a couple of months ago. So thank you for reminding us. We're not going to make a post about this, that maybe I'll share the link from back in October with all of your answers, and we can fact check what you're saying today versus what you said back in October. Do you have any pets at home?
I do. My son has a fish. It's really hard to take care of. And his name is honestly Fishy.
Who came up with that?
Yeah, he did, surprisingly. Fishy is a fighter. He's made it down the hallway before.
Wow.
My son decided to pick him up and run down the hallway with him, and he's humongous for a goldfish. So.
And it's the same fish. You haven't had to
replace I haven't
the fish.
mysteriously replaced him.
Not that I've ever done anything like
that.
With a fish or a hamster.
Yeah.
Well, what's one of your favorite restaurants around town?
Oh, it's pretty easy. I live up in Liberty Township, and Putters in Liberty Township, right around the corner from my house, is definitely my favorite. Yeah.
Got it. And what about a concert? What's one of the best concerts that you've been to?
Yeah, best concert event was definitely Bonnaroo. It was 3 or 4 days of all-day concerts down in Tennessee. I wasn't brave enough to camp down there with, I was a little old for that. But I saw U2 there, got on stage with with one band. I can't remember who it was. It's some big rock band.
How'd you manage that one?
Our industry is very tight-knit. The guy who does the pest control down at Bonnaroo got me tickets, and he got me up on the stage, so it was pretty awesome.
Very cool.
And then, but to add to that, the concert I've seen the most and the music that I like the most is Robert Earl Keen. Probably nobody's heard of him. He's a Texas country singer. They're trying to change it to Americana. Singer-songwriter. I've seen him about 10 times.
Didn't you just see him recently?
I did. Yeah. About 2 months ago, he was in town.
Right. I had heard of him only because he was in a song that a comedian did that I heard.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I've since listened to the music. I like it. Do you have any big summer plans? I know you mentioned your festival at church. Yeah,
the festival's always takes up a lot of time, and it's really exciting to see a ton of people there. I like to think that I have adventurous vacations, which I've been to many different places, but the big vacation every summer is always the Ohio Pest Management summer meeting, which is always at a state park around Ohio somewhere, and we have a day of meetings, and then it's family fun time, so my son loves it.
Cool. Well, good. I was going to ask if it was family time, or I would imagine that the pest control industry is full of wild and crazy people. So
yes, can be. It's a wide variety.
When you go out of state, right?
Yes.
In state. All right. Well, share an interesting detail about yourself that we wouldn't otherwise know.
I think I already talked about it. What I was planning to talk about was, I started working when I was at UK. Started working on a horse farm, doing research on horses. Obviously, down in Kentucky, horses are big. Was doing research on equine infectious anemia.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, I know. It's riveting.
It sounds riveting.
Part of that was taking their temperature. I had to have them quarantined and.
How did you take their temperature? I'm just joking.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, was driving around nice tractors, and then playing farmer, and then my dad came down for a pest control conference, and I got introduced to the head of entomology, and Dr. Mike Potter is, probably nobody really knows who he is, but he's a big deal in the entomology world. Asked me to work in his lab, helping out with research on bed bugs, so I switched over and started doing that, and so moved into a lab setting where I was sorting out bed bugs and running tests on them, so quite a bit different than working on a farm.
Right. Wow. Well, one more question, I think, unless I missed anything. I'm a little nervous today. What do you think the folks that have worked with you in this industry or maybe in this association would say about who you are as a professional?
Well, yeah, I mean, hopefully that obviously was very humbling, the comments that 4 people gave when you asked them when you did the interview or asked the questions the last time, I was amazed and so thankful for that. And, just very appreciative of all the relationships I've built. I'd like to think that people would say that I'm, honest and a genuine person and, very, very friendly, hopefully, and approachable. I don't try to push the business on anybody. I become friends with you first, and then hopefully you ask about the business, because I can bore you all day with talking about termites or bed bugs, but that's not necessarily what people want to talk about.
Right.
But I'm here when you want to look at another service or add a service or get a better, higher quality service.
Right.
So.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate
Yes.
you being here, and would have been probably not as interesting had you come back in October. So thanks for
Right.
being a Flashback Friday feature. I hope everybody has a really great Memorial Day weekend. Just want to say it again, if you are interested in being a feature of the Weekly Member Spotlight, we would absolutely love to get our calendar full through the rest of the year. I think we're all the way through August right now, and I'm just kind of assigning people at this point, so if I see you, I'm going to ask you. If you want to volunteer, that'd be great too. But thanks everyone, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.